Hello, I am Joe McDonald and this is Big Mac's Battle Blogs. So when is a bomb making tutorial not a bomb making tutorial? So over the last couple of weeks I have started learning about how to assemble and make the bombs we use for the drones. And that's, you know, I'm comfortable with that sort of work. You know, obviously it is dangerous. Everything's dangerous, you know, like, but it's useful, you know, and it requires, like, I'm probably not like the kind of brave that wants to like kick in a door and try and storm a building full of like Russian Spetsnaz. That's not my kind of brave, but like I can handle, you know, being calm and continuing to do a task while like tank rounds slap off the walls and stuff like that. And you know, I've got pretty steady hands and stuff. So yeah, been learning all about that. And if you've seen the community post, there's been quite a lot of photos about the sort of stuff I've been handling and working with. It's quite funny starting to become a sapper, because like maybe it's not like this in every unit, but for us, you know, when we go on a mission, we get hand grenades and stuff, and when we come back, we've got to like hand them in. And you've got your ammunition for your rifle, but like that's it. You know what I mean? You haven't got like a whole plethora of interesting stuff. And as soon as you start being a sapper, it's like, yeah, have an anti-tank mine. Just like, you know, work it out, basically. Go home, have a look at it. Here's some fuses for mortars. Here's a block of old Soviet C4. You know, here's some composite, here's a little ball of composite B, you know, just familiarize yourself with them, you know what I mean? Do a bit of reading. Don't let the dog eat it, it's poisonous. So that's, it's interesting. And because I've been like, you know, working with the 3D printers to get, you know, more interesting bomb case, like better bomb cases designed. Yeah, on 3D printing, bit of a tangent, but it is relevant, because I know people in the 3D printing community listen to my videos, so this is a bit of feedback. You know, like the reason we like 3D printed stuff is because it's regular and precise. This is always good with munitions, and it's easy to use. It's out the box, and all the spaces are consistent. You don't have to fuck around like you would with a beer can, say. You know, cutting holes in the side of it with tin clips and stuff like that, tin snips. And yeah, it generally being a bit janky, you know. It's nice and regular and easy to use. What's important, I think, more than anything, is quality. You know, we got sent some magazine loaders a while ago, and I'd already been given one, and the quality was just basically like low. They were brittle, and the springs that had been fitted weren't very strong, and the hinge pin wasn't very strong, and anything we use as we're going to make use of as a soldier probably has to be like stuffed in a bag or clipped on or jammed in a pocket and carried around and dropped, and you know, you'll be jumping on the ground with it and stuff like that for quite a while before it gets used. And the same things goes for munitions. You know, like there are quite often, you know, we have a range of different munitions we use, different sizes, different intended effects, armor piercing, shrapnel, incendiary, perhaps a mix of those things, you know, high explosive. So yeah, so what is important is that the casing is something that can take being knocked around in the back of a car. You know, it's not going to crack. It's not going to come apart. You know, it's got to be good quality. And I think perhaps some 3D printers kind of prefer to do volume, perhaps because it's more satisfying, but overall it leads to like more of a failure rate and having to redo work. So, you know, that's just my opinion on it. I think the 3D printing community who support Ukraine, Wild Bees Network, I assume they're connected with Wild Hornets, who seem to be like one of the biggest FPV producers that are like working with the government now and like making drones in Ukraine. People like that are amazing. But just my 2 cents on the matter as an end user, quality and things not being brittle or, you know, it gets hot down here. These things have got to go in a car, so it's important they don't warp and get weak and stuff. When they're, you know, in a motor, that's important. So I just like to get that message out there. But yeah, and also, yeah, you know, the more people who start producing larger munitions for FPVs, with the 3D printers, you know, it's better to produce one munition. In my opinion, it's better to produce one munition for a big FPV that if it hits anywhere near accurately is going to kill everyone in a house or kill a whole blindage full of orcs, rather than like little, you know, just focusing on the small VOG-sized munitions, which definitely still have a use. You know, it's situational. But yeah, optimally, we're trying to find targets. It's like, oh yeah, there's a house full of them. All right, let's stick like 4 kilos of PE and 6 kilos of shrapnel through the windows of that house, and then we won't have a problem anymore. I mean, I hate to talk about something so violent, so matter-of-factly, but that's the business we're in. That's the job we're doing, you know. And especially, yeah, with you know, people like Brandon's friend Czechia getting killed the other day. And people die all the time, but there's something about, you know, a woman who volunteered, who was working for free and doing, you know, going, like, the hospitaliers go to dangerous places, and, you know, they're there to plug the gaps, basically, when a unit is needing more medical support. And she paid the ultimate price. And I believe her driver was wounded as well, like lost a limb. So, you know, it's that. The only way to stop things like that happening is to kill the invaders and make them give up, you know. And the most effective way that you, as people who want to support Ukraine, can do that is to support FPV teams and support drone production. That is the most effective way. And then you don't need to spend money on humanitarian aid and you know, tourniquets and stuff like that. You know, there's other stuff is still useful. EOD stuff still very useful, and we need it. You know, the vehicles are incredibly needed here. So yeah, I don't want to cut everything out. And you know, yeah, but there are big organizations that just give Ukraine a lot of tactical medical stuff for free. So like, I think, you know, from an individual, like, volunteer person who follows what we do here, then yeah, if you want to help and you want to help end this, like, support FPV teams, support drone building workshops. I'm going to be featuring someone from a drone building shop soon on one of my videos. I've just got to, like, talk the details out with them. And, you know, as much as I use the support, right, to buy drones. Like, I mean, the other day I bought some thermal cameras, you know. I've been saving up trying to get like a Baba Yaga and stuff, but you know, the other things sort of get in the way sometimes. We've decided not to go for the drone detection thing because it turns out that some stuff has just turned up and our anti-drone boys are working with that. So they'll just relay the information to us and we'll act upon it. So that's good. But yeah, you know, now there's this focus on thermal cameras for FPV, you know, getting more of them. So we've got like a decent night arsenal, and we can hopefully start making that a regular thing as well. You know, that's a big focus, and they're expensive. They're like, you know, by the looks of things, like 300 to 400 euro cameras. So, you know, you want to use a big FPV and a big bomb for that. You don't want to be wasting a 400 euro camera and a 400 euro drone dropping a hand grenade. So yeah, expensive stuff, but it is the best way that, you know, people who aren't directly connected with like the government support and international support, individual people at home like you guys, supporting FPV, as I've said several times now, is the best way for us to win this war. So yeah, anyway, it's goodbye from me, Joe McDonald at Big Max Battle Blogs. Goodbye from One Sock, who is discovering the joy of potato over there. And as always, to our pro-Russian and Vatnik listeners, Idina Hojzalupa.